Welcome to Climb a Mountain, an Indy author's journey podcast diary. Follow Riley each week as he charts the progress of his Indy author business. What are his plans? What will he try next? How are his book sales going? What can you learn from his experience? This is the Climb a Mountain podcast diary, and here is your host, Riley Morrison.
Greetings everyone, welcome to the Indy author podcast diary. It's been a lot longer than I thought before I got another one of these out. Just seemed that every time I was going to record a video that something always came up and there's been so much going on. Anyway, I thought first of all I'll show you around the office. It's eventually going to be my office. We're still working on it. All the ground is done, and it's mostly the roof, and we're going to change the curtains behind me because they look pretty bad, and probably get block out curtains to block out the sun and all the rest. But I'll give you a quick tour of the office so far. This here is going to be like where I'd have my desk. That's not my desk there, that's just some student desk we have. The desk is going to go along that wall. And then there's a window next to it which is going to be covered in a curtain. So above me here is the roof, and that's going to be insulated because Australia gets hot in summer. It gets pretty cold in winter. I'm sure if you're in the northern hemisphere, like far north, you're not going to think our winters are cold, but for me they're cold. Definitely hot in summer. So this is going to need insulation. And then there's a far wall. Actually, we've got a lot of our stuff in here too. So this whole area is pretty big. I'm trying to think how many feet. It's probably at least 20 feet long. So it's a pretty big area, and it's probably maybe 11 feet wide, something like that. So yeah, it's a pretty big area. I plan to have my desk in here and some other stuff like maybe a lounge. I'd like a futon, something you can easily convert into a bed. Not that I'm really someone who naps during the day, but it'd be cool to just, have that as an option, but keep it as a chair most of the time. It's going to have exercise equipment in here. I'd love a treadmill desk and a few other odds and ends. All right, as to the rest of the author diary, I finished 7 days later. It's 100% done. I'm going to hold off on releasing it for now. Maybe until July. I'd love to write book 2 first, or at least nearly have it done. I'm working on Raid Slayer 4 now. I'm about 16,000 words into that. I'm really pushing my voice to text with Dragon Dictate. I'm trying the mobile version now. It's doing okay. I can't really say it's been overly faster yet. And then with the editing required afterwards. But that said, it's far less sort of fatiguing in some ways. Like writing 2,000 words by hand on a computer seems a lot harder than just voice dictating it. So I'm enjoying it, and I'm adding words to its dictionary, and I don't know if there's just machine learning, it's just learning my voice on its own. I'd like to think it is, but I don't know. I really hope. Anyway, dictation is the future for me. I did do dictate some of 7 days later, but maybe only 10% of it. And that was with the Google free option dictate, which I didn't overly like, but Dragon's definitely better. Eventually it's going to cost me 22 Australian dollars a month to have Dragon, probably in the next day or two, I guess, because I'm on the 1 week free trial. So I'll stick with it for now. I don't know if it's increased my productivity, but it has made things easier because I can just lie in bed or something like that at night and dictate into the phone and then just deal with the editing the next day. I really want it to a point where I can just trust it to do what I want it to do and just have it in my pocket, and then have a hands-free kit in and just be on a walk or something and be able to dictate the book. I wouldn't say it's necessarily as great as writing all the time either, because it's easy to forget stuff. And I mean, I have a relatively detailed plan, I guess, which I've never really done before, but I figured if I'm going to dictate it, I kind of need it, because there's so many loose plot threads and everything that need to be accounted for. So yeah, I don't want my chapters to meander. I have known that with some people that dictate, that they just repeat the same thing and meander a bit. So I'm trying to avoid that. And if it does happen, I just edit it out anyway, sort of thing. So yeah, Raid Slayer 4's been fun to write so far. I'm a little worried because there hasn't been much action yet, and I'm about 7 or 8 chapters in. There's been one action scene, I guess, but a lot of it's been talking so far because I've had a lot of stuff to deal with. So there is a lot of conflict still, but I'm going to consider whether I need some action near the start. I don't know. I do think it'd be fine though. Anyway, I'd love to get Raid Slayer done before the end of May. Raid Slayer 4, yeah. So that'd be great. And then I guess work on 7 Days Later 2 and start planning Raid Slayer Book 5. I'm thinking it's going to be 6 books now, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I've had to make this video really quickly. Time is pressing. I've got so much to do, and I guess life never stops. I've come to the point where I sort of think that my life's just always going to be busy, especially with the young kid and everything. So yeah, I used to just think, oh, things will slow down a bit, it'll be easier, but nope, not really. So anyway, well, thanks for listening, everyone. Take care.
Thanks for listening to Riley's Indie Author Journey podcast. Please subscribe and share the podcast with your author friends. Have a good author week writing and selling your books. Until next time, take care.